Stream is starting. The Captain Coder at the helm. Bean water is ready. Today we will learn a lot. He loves the questions. He loves to sing. Join our Discord.
Ready for it?
Follow him.
It's time, folks. It's time. Can you find that finger on the screen? There it is. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you, wherever you happen to be in the world. Captain Coder here on this beautiful Sunday morning for me. I hope you're having a beautiful day wherever you happen to be in the world. It's so wonderful to be here on this beautiful Sunday morning, folks. The sun is not shining. I was gonna say the sky is shining. It's beautiful outside. It's dark outside. It's dark outside. It's 4 a.m. local for Captain Coder here. Let me show you. It's dark. It's dark out there, folks. There's nothing. It's just the darkness. Hello, darkness, my old friend. Every morning, nights and dark. Nobody to keep me from doing what I want to do. No emails at this time of day. No emails, just stream. There is no email, only stream. I'm Joe. The sun here is going crazy already. Yeah, early in the morning. It is 4 a.m. local time, Clayman. GT, welcome back to the stream. I hope you're having a beautiful day. I saw it sunlight in the room. No, it's dark outside. I happen to just have the room well lit. It's night at your place. 4 a.m. 4 a.m. I usually wake up around 2:33 in the morning. I do a little workout. Then I stream. So I've always, not always, for much of my life I've done wake up and code, wake up and get some stuff done. Yeah, so I get up super early and stream because that's how I started streaming. Is I was like, well, I'd be coding here anyway. Might as well hop on, do a little bit of recording for my students. Tony, welcome back to the stream. Great to see you. James Gillespie, it's great to see you, my friend. Hope you guys are having a beautiful day wherever you happen to be in the world. Yeah. People find it a little bit crazy how early I stream. Craxy, congratulations on your #1, my friend. Michael, welcome back to the stream. You're gonna have to tell us once the Steam Deck stuff gets all the way through. Looking forward to seeing how it pans out for you. Nerd Waffle, thanks for the Canada update. Thanks for the Canada update. Dramokes, I hope you're having a beautiful day. Anonymous with 2 S's. How you doing, friend? Gonna fix the last couple of bugs in Portal Code today. Let's go. Intensive Code, I hope you've been well. Clayman, happy Sunday, my friend. I hope you're having a beautiful day, beautiful weekend, beautiful life. Dylan, welcome back to the stream. Dylan Gmail, great to see you, my friend. How's your game coming along, Dylan? You managed to come up with an idea? Are you working on something these days now? I know you were having a little bit of trouble finding inspiration. I hope inspiration struck you, but not too hard. Just like nice little love tap. Nothing. You don't want inspiration coming to go poosh, take you out. You don't want to get taken out by that inspiration. Res One, it's all the same command. I know. I got to figure that out. Zapped. Glad to hear your games come along. I spent a lot of time on art. I still think I need to make. That's what I'm gonna be doing today. I think I want to make 3 more enemies. For my game. I have the game loop almost down. We need to add in some hit points and stuff, but I have the basic ideas going. Couldn't fool me. You can't fool me. I won't get fooled again, Res One. No boozling the captain. You can boozle me, but you can't bamboozle me. I don't know why I'm feeling like clapping so much today, apparently. It's great to see all you beautiful people. Tony, I hope you've had a beautiful week. Beautiful month, beautiful life, my friend. GT, I'm looking forward to your portal code looks. Your portals are looking solid, my friend. They're looking solid. James Gillespie, hope you're having a beautiful day. Anonymous, it's wonderful to see you, folks. We are doing Fox Hollow Game Jam. I don't know why I'm so zoomed out. Oh no, there's my. All right, I thought I lost it. Now my dog's gonna come. My dog's like, you're being so loud. I gotta shut. Yesterday I shut the door and they went crazy. Maybe I gotta put the gate up so that they can still see me, but they won't go crazy. Yesterday they tore up a bunch of stuff. They're normally okay. They're upset. Mom, my girlfriend, my partner, she is currently out of town, so the dogs don't have anyone to go cuddle with while I'm streaming. Usually they sleep in the morning, so they're super confused. Good morning, Proton Fig! How's it going, Proton? Great to see you, my friend. Thank you for the hat. Let's get a hat started on this head. There it is. But yeah, these poor dogs don't know what to do when I'm in here yelling at the screen. I'm so loud. I'm so loud. Normally she's on the other side of the room or the house, so they can't hear me. GT and Beegs went hard on the portals. Yeah, they did, Zaft, and they came out great. I'm looking forward to it. We're going to make it so that people can submit them going into next month. Mooniz and I had a little bit of discussion. We're going to let next month, we're going to let this one go ahead and go through. We're going to be talking about it more next month. Braxton, thank you for the Captain Cross-Eyed. Braxton, how you been, friend? I hope you're having a beautiful day. Folks, we are working on Fox Hollow Game Jam here, which is, I'm doing the gauntlet. It says there are 6 days, 18 hours, 51 minutes, 19 seconds. This is not true. This is not true. I basically have today and a little bit of time tomorrow morning. Grumpy, grumpy, grumpy's here today, bringing in that grumpy crew. You know we got grumpy, grumpy raiding into me. I want to say thank you, sir. Grumpy, thank you so much for the raid. Thank you for bringing in the freedom, folks. You gotta go check out the Grumpy Game Dev. Cyril, let's get a hat added to this stack. Let's go. We're gonna have hats for days. Hats for days. Grumpy, I hope you had a beautiful stream. Cyril, thank you so much for the hats. Welcome in, everybody. Good luck with the game jam, Cap. Yeah, so I'm doing the gauntlet, which we only have 3 days to do. Tomorrow I have to do a little bit of driving. I gotta pick up my girlfriend from she's been in Alberta. Maybe I shouldn't say that out loud, but she's been she's been doing some stuff in Canada, up in Canada land, Canada, and so I gotta go pick her up. We'll be back. But that's tomorrow afternoon. I'll probably be streaming tomorrow morning anyway, but I basically have about 28-ish hours to finish my entry for this game jam, because after that, we're just going to hang out and relax. So that's sort of where I'm at. Saranami, welcome back to the stream. Congratulations on your number 14. Hope you're having a beautiful day. Folks, if you guys don't know the Grumpy Game Dev, incredible. Wait, what did the Grumpy get? Grumpy, do I have to do the whole game dev? Did my Grumpy come in? There it goes. I think I just didn't go through the first time. Interesting, folks. Be sure to go check out the Grumpy Game Dev. The premier, Twitch's #1 VB.net coder here on Twitch. He has the largest VB.net coder on Twitch. Be sure to go check him out. What is the Fox Hollow Jam? Yeah, Fox Hollow Jam 2. Fox Hollow Jam 2 here. The theme. So one of the things, there's a couple things I like about it. The theme, there's two things. There's a theme and a design principle. The design principle in this one, so you have to do both. So we're doing input randomness. So this is sort of like procedural generation, or it's making decisions at the start of the game that will affect the whole thing later, rather than randomness during the game itself. And then primordial is the theme. This dinosaur is a little bit fools us a little bit, because primordial apparently has nothing to do with dinosaurs. But I started making light about that, so we're gonna come up with a storyline. The storyline of my game is actually that before the player gets to make a decision, yeah, the input random says when random events occur before the player gets to make a decision. So that's what we're gonna do. It's not about dinosaurs. It is a little bit. I talked to Foxhall about it. Anyway, so my idea is an evolutionary experiment gone wrong, which has devolved a whole area in the game. So in mine, the main character had a pet chicken that devolved into a triceratops. So it got a de-evolution because, you know, birds evolved from dinosaurs. So the chicken gets turned into a triceratops. And then all of the people in the area get turned into cavemen. Some other birds get turned into dinosaurs. And then the very last boss, if I can pull it off, is going to be like a giant T-Rex. A giant T-Rex that you start fighting. It turns out it's a robot underneath. Maybe, possibly. I'm not sure. Nerdwolf, we should totally do more jams. It's so good for you. If you have the time. I know that can be very time consuming. Let me show you what we got so far. So here's what we got so far. So we're making a twin stick shooter here. I'm using Unity, but here's what we got so far. We got our character riding a triceratops. We've got the cavemen coming at us. We have our character on top on the rotating turret so we can take out the cavemen here. And so this is what we have so far. What I want to get done today is I want to actually create a spawner. So I want this idea of waves of enemies that can come at you. And so we may end up just doing continuous waves. So at the start of the game, you might specify how many, is it Primordial the beginning of time, not dinos? It has to do with the start of something. So in my game, there's a Primordial ooze that devolves. It takes something and unevolves it. So Primordial has to do with, so if we look at define Primordial, has to do with beginning, existing or from the beginning of time, primeval, basic and fundamental in biology, the earliest stages of primordial germ cells. So I'm gonna do, mine is, there's the primordial ooze that is devolving things. So your pet chicken turns into a triceratops. It devolves. But yeah, that's what we have so far. Flavius, welcome back to the stream. Hope you're having a beautiful day, my friend. Great to see you. Snabble, I hope you're doing well also. But we spent a lot of time making, so in the gauntlet, you have to make everything yourself. All assets have to be created from scratch during the time of the game jam. I can't use assets I've made previously. So all of this I made yesterday. So we made, I made all of the art here. It's been quite a day. So we have our triceratops here. We've got our soldier, we've got our caveman, we got some rocks, and then we got this big old bush tree thing. You are only coming through in waves. Your lips move, but I can't hear what you're saying. Is this true for everyone, or are you just quoting Pink Floyd? Is that a Pink Floyd quote? So weird how dinosaurs are chickens' ancestors, exactly. So devolved, the chickens devolved, all the birds devolved backwards. Pink Floyd, yeah, I just wanted to make sure. Love me some Pink Floyd. Just want to make sure that I am actually you're able to hear me. I'm good, Captain. How are you doing? I'm doing absolutely wonderful, Flavius. Thank you so much for asking. We are in the process here of creating a scriptable object. I'm going to make an object that defines how these waves of enemies can spawn here. Kovalaki, number 15, you know you're great, you're grand. Kovalaki, you're so grand. Thank you for being here today. Kovalaki, how's it going, friend? Hope you're having a beautiful day. But yeah, we made all the art here. I made a grass texture. So this is the grass texture I made yesterday. So I've done a bunch of, I was really happy with how this grass texture came out. I was not sure I was going to be able to pull anything off here, but it came out looking okay. It doesn't look too bad. It's not the best looking grass texture in the world, but it gets the job done. I'm really happy with how my triceratops came out. I see you put a Dodongo in your game. So it's true, Dodongos do dislike smoke, Grumpy. It's actually a chicken. It's a chicken that got devolved. It's someone's pet chicken. Flavius, thank you for the hat. Let's get another hat on the stack. Let's do it. Thank you for the hat. Boom. There's, oh, hang on. One, there we go. Why are the hats so hard to put on? Is this hat backwards? What's going on with this hat? I feel like all of wearing these hats so much is causing a lot of stress on the hat's structural integrity. It dislikes It's true. True woo. As Jern would say, true woo. All right, but yeah, we have two types of controls here. Let it go. Don't you want a game where you can just shoot cavemen off the back of a triceratops? We got to add a tail in, but I actually don't think anyone's noticed that it doesn't have a tail. I want to give it a tail that it swings when it moves, but I don't know if I have enough time to pull that off, which is okay, I suppose. GT, enjoy your lurk, my friend. Thank you so much for hanging out. It's a pleasure to be here. With the grunts from Gauntlet, you're after your Dodongo. Yeah, exactly. Grumpy knows where it's at. Grumpy knows what's up. Okay. I want to add in some logic here for spawning the enemies. So I need this idea of a wave where we can have enemies spawn from. So I'm going to create a arena controller. that will know where these different spawn points are. Okay, so let me come into my project here, and I'm going to go up to Arena, and we're going to create a new script. It's going to be Arena Manager, Arena Controller. Like this, we're going to create a new object here called Arena Controller. We're going to go ahead and position that in the center of the universe, and then we're going to put these spawn points inside of it. And then we're going to come into our Arena Controller script like so. Fuzzy Algorithm, what a name. Fuzzy Algorithm, welcome to the stream today. Thank you for following the Captain Coder. Fuzzy Algorithm, I hope you're having a beautiful day, my friend. Happy Sunday. Thank you. I wore them myself. That's not true. I wore them because people have asked me to wear them. But Fuzzy Algorithm, I hope you're having a beautiful day. Welcome into the stream. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. Backseat coding is absolutely welcome here. All right, so we got this Arena Controller. I want to create a public transform spawn points. I'm gonna make it an array of spawn points like that. And we'll be able to select the different spawn points in this way. I'm kind of thinking maybe it should be a dictionary, but then that becomes like this painful thing to put into. Maybe I should make it a dictionary. You know what? We're gonna make it a dictionary. We're gonna create an arena spawn point, enumerated type spawn points like this. So we're gonna create a public enum spawn points. And there's just gonna be 4 spawn points. We're gonna make it this way: north, east, south, and west. Darth Blackman, how's it going? Happy dictionary. Give me that tasty dictionary. That's right. All right, so our spawn point, we'll call it spawn point. And the idea here is we have 4. This array is gonna map to one of those. And so essentially I want to have these spawn points. Each one of these is gonna map to one of those. But when I create a wave, people who use tuples are programmers? Tuples? Are they tuples or tuples? Tuples or tuples? Thruples. Okay, let's keep going here. We got an arena controller. I want to create this idea of a spawn group, enemy spawn group here. So the idea with an enemy spawn group is you can specify a group of enemies that are going to spawn at a specific time, and then you can specify their spawn points. Enemy spawn group like this, and then a wave, an enemy wave, is going to be an enemy spawn group. So here we're going to have tuplinary, yeah, toupees, snabble, exactly. You know. People who use toupees are tuplinary. Tuplinary? I'm confused. I feel like there was a joke there that I missed. It's a swing and a miss for me, or you just get me to say funny words because I like to read the chat out loud and I don't realize what I'm saying. Could it be, Blackman? Are you trying to boozle the captain? You're allowed to boozle me, but don't bamboozle me. All right, so we have an enemy spawn group here. The idea is going to be that we have these entries. We're gonna have some entries here. So I want to have a spawn public class spawn group entry. And the entry is gonna go from a public spawn point to a public list of, I guess we could do game objects to spawn. The idea here is to have an enemy. Right now I only have one enemy type called a grunt. All right, so I only have one enemy type called a grunt. Game object is gonna be the wrong type here. We need another type here specifically for our enemies so we can have like a high level idea of an enemy. And then when we're traversing these things, we'll be able to get them in there. I was avoiding since a bad word or to call out anyone originally. Gotcha. Booyah, Grandma. How's it going? Welcome back to the stream, folks. If you guys don't know, Booyah, Grandma, one of the premier streamers here on Twitch, creating a game, Alpine Lake. Go check out Alpine Lake. Booyah, Grandma. How you doing, friend? Welcome to the stream. I hope you're having a beautiful day. How's it? What time is it for you? We're on like opposite sides of the universe. Enemies. So the idea here is we'll have a public list of spawn group entries. Entry, just call it this. And so this is going to be, we need to serializable on this, serializable on this, and then our enemy spawn group. We could give it a name too, potentially, so we could see it. It's good to hear your voice. It's good to read. It's good to see your name. It's good to see your name. I'm doing well. It's only 8:22 p.m. Gotcha. Yeah, so you are, and is it Sunday for you or Saturday? I think it's Sunday for you. I think I'm pretty early on the time zone. So you are ahead of me by 16 hours, which is fascinating to think about. Sunday is any 8, so you're 16 hours ahead of me. That's so wild to think about. So now that we have an enemy spawn group, what I could do, let's actually make this a scriptable object. Scriptable object like this. We can make a spawn group entry a scriptable object as well. Scriptable object. Yeah, I like this. I like this. You specify where they're gonna spawn, put them in there, and then you can like compose them in this interesting way. I don't know if I'm allowed to have these in a file like this. And it's kind of bad practice to do it. Let's create a new file here, spawn group entry. I'm gonna move my spawn group entry into this spot here. We're gonna say using Unity engine like that, using system.collections. Let's go ahead and import this as well. I need to change this game object type. Or 8 hours behind. Nope, that doesn't work. That's right. The only way I can do the math with PST is to convert to EST first, which is just 13 hours, and then convert that to PST. That sounds like a lot of work. That sounds like a lot. That, like, my brain, I don't think could handle that. All right, we're gonna create a type here. Ooh, this is interesting. I'm gonna create a type called enemy. And the enemy is, I don't quite understand I don't know exactly what I want to do with enemy yet. I know that grunt movement controller needs to be able to be put inside of it. And then a way to start. Yeah, so I think enemy, I think this also should be a scriptable object. It's like an enemy data definition. So enemy data. So this defines a single enemy, including like the game object. So like the prefab associated with it. Okay, I like that idea. Let's go back over here. Need this one more time. And then this is gonna be an enemy data scriptable object. And it's gonna have a public string name, public game object prefab. This is like the prefab that spawns when you select it. So it makes copies of this thing. Yeah, so it's gonna be our enemy data. Now our enemy spawn group now just is gonna have an enemy data. So it's the number of enemies, enemy data. Yeah, this feels correct. So I could add several copies of the same enemy. I could add multiple different types of enemies. Okay, let's go with that. And now my enemy spawn group is just a list of these entries. Okay, so we have spawn group entry, enemy spawn group. Feels like maybe It's a little bit too abstract, but we're gonna go with it now for time's sake. So I'm gonna do create asset menu, our file name here to be enemy. We're gonna put this in, where am I putting these? I don't know if I put them menu name, FHJ/enemy. We'll put it like that. Spawn group entry. Spawn group entry. Really, this feels like it could be part of a spawn group altogether. I'm thinking I might reuse them. After lyrics, since you ended the Truman Show that game round, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Look, Lieutenant Conker woke him up and I felt so bad. Enemy spawn group. Call this spawn group. Spawn group entry. Thank you for the hat. Let's get a hat on our head. Spawn group entry. 1 second. Let me get a hat here. Thank you for the hat, Redeem. Let's get a hat added onto the stack. Hey Dave, what's up? How's it going, Rybiz? Hope you're having a beautiful day. Enjoy your lurk, that gamer. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Spawn group entry. I don't think this piece needs to be a scriptable object. I'm trying to think if I would end up reusing this particular thing. I don't think I'm going to. So we'll just serialize this so that we can put this directly into it. Infinitani, congratulations on your number 16. Welcome back, my friend. How have you been? How are you doing? Yeah. So then we'll have a spawn group like this. This makes more sense to me. Spawn group, enemy, spawn group. Then we have the enemy data. Okay, let's come back over, see how we did here. Where's Unity? Where'd my Unity go? Unity? There it is. All right, there, daily, they're all the same, Rybivs. Thank you so much for getting your, and Booyah Grandma 17 point, number 17, number 18, congratulations on both of those. Folks, claim those bonus points, exclamation point here, to get them while they're hot. Okay, there was an import error, I don't know what that means. But we're gonna come over to our enemies, grunt movement control. Let's put that in here. And I'm gonna create an enemy, and this one's gonna be called our grunt data. Maybe, possibly, it's completing the domain. Grunt data. And so the grunt data is just gonna be a grunt like this. We'll add in the prefab. This is the grunt prefab like that. Now in our enemies over here, I want to create an enemy spawn group. Okay, and we'll call this grunt, small grunt wave like this. And we can create some entries like that. So we'll say the entry from the north. This entry, so yeah, this is gonna be, so from the north, we are gonna spawn in. This might make sense to have another sub entry here. So that I don't have to click duplicate on this so many times. So what I'm gonna have to do is basically say, okay, we'll have to do this 8 times. It might make sense. No, this will be fine. So there'll be 8 coming from the north. Let's go with 8 from the north, like that. So we'll call this grunt data, small grunt wave, 8 grunts north, like that. And then if I duplicate this, call it 8 grunts south. Welcome to the scene, Arkina666. Thank you so much for the follow. Arkina, thank you so much. Thank you for following me today. Arkina, I hope you're having a beautiful day. Dark Blackman, congratulations on your number 19. Congratulations, not bad. Not bad. I want to make it. I need to update that command. I'm new to C# and Unity. Gotcha. Well, welcome in. I've been using Unity for almost 2 years now. So I started on stream about, I want to say 18 months ago. We might be on month 19. I've lost track at this point, but I've been having a lot of fun with it. I would say it's the game engine I'm most familiar with, and I've been having a blast. We're currently doing a game jam entry for Fox Hollow's game jam, and so I only have 72 hours to make this game. Really, so because of some other time constraints, I have a little bit less than that, but we're going hard at it. We're making a twin stick shooter game here where you play as a character on the back of a triceratops. So you're this soldier with a little gun. You're on the back of a triceratops, and you're gonna have different enemies coming at you, sort of like a wave. It's what's called a twin stick shooter. It's inspired by Smash TV, and JD's Does Dev is making a Smash TV game, and that's what inspired me to do this here. So this is what we've been working on. That we're about 24 hours into the jam at this point, or at least for me. I started yesterday, about 24 hours ago. So this is what we have after 24 hours. Aries, how the heck have you been? I hope you've been having a beautiful day. But yeah, welcome in. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask since you're new. This stream is highly encourages backseat coding, asking questions. Don't ever hesitate to interrupt me and try and ask a question. I usually will take some time to do it if I have the time. There's also a Discord you can join where we have lots of people wanting to help each other, wanting to learn. And I always say the best way to learn is to share what you've been working on, get feedback on it. You'll grow so much faster when you do that. So I'm currently working on making it so that way I can spawn different groups of enemies. Yeah, this is why I was thinking it would make sense. Okay, so these different entries actually feel like they should be separate, and then I can compose them. Okay. So I do think I want to have a spawn group entry like this so that I can have 8, and I give it a name, call it like 8 somethings. All right, so I do want this to be, I'm going to be reusing these things in waves. This is going to be a spawn group entry, scriptable object here, spawn group entry, group entry. Still job searching, and I live in New York City. Did you move to New York City? Or is that new? And this will spawn group entries like that. So we can compose them in this way. You're in the UK. We got a lot of people from the UK who come to this stream, which I think is really cool. I really like that. Okay. So let's come in here and I'm gonna create a folder called spawn groups, spawn group entries, like this, and then we're gonna recreate those real quick. So this is our spawn group entry here. Yeah, so north, and then we can basically come in here, we'll call this 8 grunt north. Maybe not the best way to do this. I can like think of other ways to do this, but we're gonna do it this way for now. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're gonna duplicate that. Spawn group entries. 1 for each one. Delete. We'll call this grunt south, east, est, and west, like that. We'll call this west. We'll call this east. Thank you for the hat. Let's get another hat added to this stack. Let's go. Clayman with the hat redeem. Let's do it. Let's do it. Thank you for the hat. Oh yeah. Look at that hat. Look at it go. Okay. Looking for any type of work until I go to the trade whenever I go. Gotcha. What type of trade are you planning to get into, Aries? If you don't mind me asking, feel free to ignore that question if it's too personal. And we're going to create a new folder here. Create folder. This one's going to be called spawn groups, like this. And we're going to create a spawn group. And then this is going to just be 32 grunts. All right, so 32 grunts here. I almost want to have a little like wave thing. So we have 8 grunts north, 8 grunts east. So this will spawn all south and west. So 32 grunts is what I'm going to call this one here. You want to go for HVAC? Gotcha. Yeah, I have some family, a big group of my family who lives out in the East Coast, Massachusetts. They all do plumbing work, so they're part of that trade, plumbing and electricians. And so I know tradespeople can be really, really useful. How many hats does he have, that gamer? Only one way to find out. Only one way to find out. So trade school means that you're taking on a trade like plumbing, electrician, painting. Those are like the trades, not necessarily like trading stuff. Textiles would be another trade. Thank you for the hat. Let's get another hat. 2 most prevalent bugs fixed. Let's go. Let's go. Okay. So now that we have this spawn group, Derator. So I can't pronounce this. Derator. Let me know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Derator. I'd like to welcome you to the stream now, Derator. Thank you for following me. Thank you so much for the follow. Happy to have you here. Hope you're having a beautiful day. Feel free to correct me if I'm saying it incorrectly. Gray loves matcha latte. Look, I love matcha latte too. It's a German name that means something like, oh, cool. Well, this stream is PG-11, so I want to keep it family friendly. So thank you so much for the heads up on that. I'm gonna call you D. Let me know what I should call you here. But welcome to the stream. Gray loves matcha latte. That sounds delicious. Gray, thank you so much for the follow. Gray latte matcha, I love it. Gray loves matcha lattes. Great, thank you so much for the follow. I've had so much matcha latte. It sounds delicious. You've had so much matcha latte. You turned into a matcha latte. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're having a beautiful day. So what I would like to be able to do, so I think I'm going a little bit overboard here. I want to be able to spawn in something. So let me go to my arena controller. All right, so my arena controller needs to have these spawn points like this, and we're gonna have a function called spawn, and this is gonna spawn. It's gonna take in a spawn group, enemy spawn group like this, and it's gonna spawn all the enemies in the correct locations. For that, let's come make sure let's attach the arena controller, and I'm gonna do a little test to see if we can spawn them in that way. I also think I would need to do a layer. We're probably going to end up adding in a, we need to do object pulling. I'm not doing object pulling, but we're probably going to have to add that in at some point. We'll see how far we can get without it, but I'm trying to add things in a way that makes it not too hard to do. All right, so we have our spawn points. It's important to add in each one of these here in the correct order. So we got north, east, south, and west. So we're gonna be very careful to make them all. Booyah, I need to update that command. We're no longer doing that when we are doing Fox Hollow Game Jam. I need to change that command to say that we did Learn You a Game Jam, and we're gonna be playing entries for Learn You a Game Jam on Wednesday. I am doing Fox Hollow Jam right now. All right, so let's do this. I'm gonna add in, just for funsies, public enemy spawn group, next spawn, like this. So I can set that, and then what I want to do is I'm gonna create a debug value, spawn next, so we can force the next wave of things to come. Public void, spawn next, and spawn next is going to call spawn with our next spawns like this. Game objects and creating them in code is something I need to practice to get my head around it. Arcana, yeah, it's really, really powerful to do it. We're about to do it here. Let me show you a little bit of what we're doing. And this is why I'm saying object point. Turns out it's kind of it can be kind of expensive if you're spawning lots of things into the world. into the game scene. And so there's a thing you can do called object point that makes it so you actually don't respawn it, you reuse old copies. But I'm gonna be a little bit lazy about it. And so what we're gonna do is I'm actually gonna take these enemy spawn group here. All right, so let's look at the enemy spawn group real quick. The enemy spawn group is gonna look like this thing over here. I'm gonna show it to you in just a second. If it'll load. We got 32 grunts here, which has 8 grunts in the north, and then this one has the entries inside. So we're gonna go inside of this spawn group, pull out each of these objects, and then this grunt data says spawn this grunt, which happens to be this guy here. So we're gonna go through and spawn in a bunch of these. I'm gonna disable this horde here. So right now, these are just in the scene already. So I'm gonna go through and I'm gonna disable those. So it's just me like this, and I'm gonna make it so that I can click this spawn button here, and it's gonna spawn this set of enemies. So I'll be able to specify, oh, I wanna do 32 grunts, click spawn next, and it'll spawn all of those in. We're gonna give it a shot here. Do for each, what is it? Enemy spawn, or spawn group entry in our enemy spawn group dot entry. So we're gonna go through each of those entries, and then we need to pull out inside of that. We're gonna say for each enemy data, enemy in our entry dot enemies, like this. So we have sort of this thing that's in here. You don't use var much. If it's, I could use var here like this. I use it if the data type is too big. I prefer not to use it if I can get away, if it's, because entries here doesn't tell me what it is. In my IDE tells me, but if I'm doing a code review somewhere, it can be a little bit tricky to do it. So context is important. I prefer to use the full data type. I use var if I'm doing stuff with a link call, which often makes the data type kind of big and gnarly. This feels reasonable to me here. So we're gonna do enemy dot, and then the actual enemy that we want is the one that's prefab here. So I'm gonna go ahead and spawn this in. So I'm gonna do instantiate the enemy prefab like this, or this is gonna be our game object, new enemy, like this is our new enemy. And I wanna set the position. So it's gonna be our new enemy dot is there a set position? Transform dot set position? No. So then we'll do position is equal to, and we're gonna pull out from our spawn points. So our spawn points had several transforms on it, and the spawn point we wanna use happens to be our entry dot spawn point here. And we're gonna cast this to an integer like that. Dot position. So this will actually spawn it. It's supposed to spawn into that spot there. GT asked, would you consider this a bug? I have my portal surface, which has modifiable collisions such that the player can move through it when going through a portal. However, if I place the surface against another object, for example, a larger wall, the object behind doesn't get any changes to collision. One again, preventing the players from moving through. There are 2 solutions. Don't place a portal surface in front of objects or fix it through code by disabling. So GT, I think the way they do it in Portal, the game itself, is they just make sure that there's no places where you could do that type of thing. It doesn't have to solve all of the things as long as you document, say, hey, by the way, this is how this portal system works. It works within these confines. You should only do it in this possible way. This is why in Portal, they have very specific surfaces you can actually place them on. I'm pretty sure they don't cover everything. And I don't know that they actually modify the mesh either. I think they do some tricks where they turn off and on colliders. That said, if you want to go the extra mile and make it work no matter what, that would be insane. All right, so we're gonna give this a shot here and see how we do. And the reason this is kind of expensive, it's creating 32 game objects all at once. And so there's some things we could do to potentially make this not so expensive. Let's set 32 grunts here. If I hit play, click spawn next, See how it spawns them all in like that? One thing that would be nice, it doesn't until you start doing, see how it slowed down there for the spawn there? If we want to add in more and more and more and more and more like that, that starts being a little bit of a slowdown there. We got a lot of these guys. Right? So if we use what's called object pooling, we don't have to get rid of all of them. We don't have to, when these despawn, we don't have to spawn in a whole new game object each time. 32 is not that much though, you're right. Oh my goodness, there's a lot of these guys here. Got quite the horde surrounding us. They're coming. They're not too smart. Solomon, welcome back. Gray loves matcha latte. Can I call you Gray? Gray asks, what's a mesh? The furthest I got in a game is bouncing a bunch of balls. So mesh typically refers to a 3D object. So for example, the box around it, or not the box, but the shape of a 3D object is the mesh. And so if I were to add in a 3D object, we would get that here. Let me create here. If I go to 3D, we end up being able to add in things like this. A cube here, for example. Let me switch to 3D mode. Pull it out a little bit. The cube, you'll notice here, has a mesh renderer that's saying that what we should do to actually draw this mesh into the screen. This mesh is relatively simple. It has basically 6 sides that get rendered when we're doing it here. Different types of objects will have different types of mesh, but a mesh refers to the body of a 3D object, and then that you can typically put a texture on and wrap it. I don't know if that answered your question. Let me know if you need more clarification, but I hope that helped. Let's zoom out here on our main camera. Okay, so we can spawn things in there. You're welcome. You're welcome. Sweet. So we have the ability now to spawn in some stuff. The fact that they got spawned in like this straight line is interesting. I think what I want to do is have it sort of spawn within an area rather than spawn in a straight line like that. See how they all got caught up where they're all coming directly at the player like that? Arcana, so sorry about that. 1 second. Bot, ignore, Arcana. Is it? There it goes. You should be able to put, it thinks you're trying to post a link. My bot's a little bit aggressive there, but that's just because of, we get a lot of spam bots if I don't have that on here. Dev Mashup, morning, my friend. I hope you're having a beautiful day. Dev Mashup, how the heck have you been? Let's see. Arcana says, so enemy.prefab in your code is the list of components for an enemy, right? No, so enemy prefab, I've made this maybe a little bit too convoluted. So Grunt Data has a single prefab on it, name and prefab here. So this has a single prefab, and then there's one level up. We have what's called a spawn group entry, and the entry has several of those things inside of it. So we could potentially have spawn multiple things at the same time rather than, it doesn't have to be all the same enemy. I only have one enemy right now. I don't know if that answered your question, but the prefab itself is associated with a single enemy, but there is another level up for our spawn group entry, which lets us specify a list of enemies that we want to spawn in. I don't know if that answered your question. I think the original portal only uses certain surfaces more so because of the data storage. Gotcha, because the surface needs to know if there are portals on it to prevent overlapping portals. Interesting. I'm not sure it is for collision specifically, but likely both. I think you can, if you have full control over something, you can sort of trick things around a little bit. I imagine that for the most part, there aren't many places where the portals have some kind of solid object on the other side. So there's a little bit of trickery, I'm sure, that they're doing with it. All right. Especially in a game, same with like the liminal games, right? I think we often underestimate how much games are smoke and mirrors and misdirection. Yeah. Y'all are going at this portal thing with such a wish to make something insane. Exactly. I never expected such a robust build. I was expecting some basic stuff. I haven't actually finished my portal solution, but my portal solution it's kind of smoke and mirrors as well. As far as like duplicate, it doesn't, I'm not using a shader, and I just duplicate the object, make it a kinematic body rather than a rigid body, and then have it, anytime a force is applied to one, it applies it to the other one in the mirrored direction. I felt like my solution was maybe it doesn't solve everything. More and more messy though. Exactly, GT. So just so you know, we are actually looking for simplicity is better than robustness in my mind. And then if you get both, it feels less and less robust by the day. Oh no. Okay, so I want to add a little bit of randomness to where they spawn. So when I spawn them in, notice they all spawn in the exact same location, which causes them to do this line dance thing here, right? So I don't want them to spawn in that way. They do all have a slightly random speed, but I want them to be spawned in slightly different area. And I'm wondering if I can define like a spawn area rather than a spawn point, and then randomly select a position inside of that area. I could also just randomly apply some range inside as well. So rather than spawning at this specific position, we'll do within a range of 1. So we could do a float x off equals random dot range between -2 and 2. And then same for our y. So it's not going to spawn in that exact same spot. We'll do vector 2, I guess vector 3. Position is equal to, we'll pull this out like this. And then we'll do position.x plus equals x off. Position.y plus equals y off, like this. Now they won't all spawn in the exact same spot. They'll be spread out a little bit more, but not necessarily perfectly. To be honest, kind of frustrated. I have a blocks array that just had the name, texture ID, and texture of the block. It worked until I increased the array size from 3 to 6, spent the whole day trying to figure out what was wrong. Turns out, well, I correctly set the array size. I need to create the actual, yeah, so it's probably null inside of it. Or maybe you didn't create the array objects. I'm hoping to help people get even further. GT, I'm so excited for it. It's awesome what you've done there. Let's go ahead and see. Now when I spawn these guys in, they spawn sort of around the area instead. One thing I don't necessarily like about that is they spawned, yeah, that's not too bad. It's not too bad. One thing I kind of want to do with them, and if we play Smash TV, we see they don't just come straight for the enemy in Smash TV. So if I had my character up here, let's kill all these guys real quick. Should add in a faster weapon. I am going to add in some weapons today too. You'll notice if my character starts up here, these come straight for the player. I want the enemies to walk towards the middle for a small amount of time to start out. Are you using Boyd math for the AI? The AI just moves towards the player. The AI is really dumb. The AI is really dumb. Move toward the player. If I'm in range, try to attack the player. See how these guys just bunch up behind here? They don't know how to go around. We have such a limited amount of time, right? So I only have essentially 72 hours to make this, a little bit left. Yeah. So, hey, just wanted to say all those things that were getting sent in your Discord by me was not me. I got hacked. I know you got hacked. No worries. So I had to reset my PC and create a new Discord. So if I can forgive me, of course, I knew it wasn't you. Don't worry about it at all. That's why we got the bot in there, the auto mod, to take care of that, or the bot checking out those links and stuff. So thank you so much for the apology, but not necessary. Okay. So we have this minor noise added into it. Let's go ahead and commit this. Git status. Add feature, implement very basic enemy spawner, like that. So the next thing I want to do is make it so that we have a like waves of things coming out. So don't worry about it, Saw. The dark side of programming viruses. The dark side of programming. So we got those. We could make it so that way They don't all spawn immediately either. So that's an idea. Long live Chow. Thank you for the scam. Speaking of bots, long live Chow's got every day we get a long live Chow. Thank you so much for the follow, Chow. Hope you're having a beautiful day wherever you happen to be in the world. Rather than spawning them all at the same time, I think I want to make it so they spawn in slowly. So let's do that next as well. So rather than spawn, we're going to create a coroutine that like has them spawning in every, you know, not too long. We could also make it so that way there's, yeah, I think I like that. I made one dumb virus before. All it did was check if Chrome is open. If it is, close it. But it checked every 5 seconds. She had to remove it. That's mean, Saw. That's so mean. When I don't get a long-lived Chow, I get worried. Yeah, I know. When you don't get a long-lived Chow, it's like, what happened to Chow? Oh no. I used to think it was long-lived chaos, but it's not. It's long-lived Chow. Long leave. I'm doing absolutely wonderful dev mashup. The pups seem to be doing pretty well. They got a little rowdy yesterday. So my partner, I'm home alone. I'm home alone with the dogs this week. My partner is traveling. And so yesterday when I streamed, I shut the door and they got really, really upset. So I'm not shutting the door today. They seem a little bit better. I didn't even realize how crazy they went. I went out there, they had destroyed, we had some cardboard boxes sitting out. They had to chew up these cardboard boxes. I was like, oh my goodness, they did not like that I had shut them out of this room. They're feeling really sad. They are missing mom a lot, but she'll be back on tomorrow, Monday. So that's exciting. So this is not, rather than spawning them all at the same time, I'm gonna set up a little delay on this. We're gonna do a coroutine here. So we're gonna do a private void, private I enumerator spawn spawn them. I don't know what to call it. Do spawn routine. Maybe I'll just call it this spawn coroutine like that. And this coroutine will actually take, we could just do this I enumerator like this. You know what? This is what we're gonna do. And this will actually put a small delay between each one. Yield return. This will make it so one spawns every frame, which isn't quite what we want. We could add in also a delay in our enemy entry or our entry here to say like how fast do they spawn. That's what I'm going to do. Let's go into our spawn group entry. We're going to add in a public float spawn delay. And by default, the spawn delay will be really short like this. Coroutines are nice for writing they're kind of like threads. They let you sort of think about the logic without having to spend a ton of time on it. All right, so we're gonna create I forget what this is called, but we'll use a var here because I don't know what the type of var. Oh, I get a wait for seconds like this, wait. And there's gonna be a new wait for seconds from our entry dot delay, spawn delay like that. We don't even need that here. All right, and now this will be a wait like this. When you use return type, are you asking when do you use return type? ZX, welcome to the stream, by the way. Hope you're having a beautiful day. Saw, you're almost there. So we're gonna make this a coroutine. I'm gonna call it spawn coroutine like this. And we're gonna do start coroutine like that. So it's gonna start a coroutine in this way here. So now we should get a small delay between each enemy that is spawning. And we probably want point one probably isn't. We'll see what it looks like. Here. But yeah, we can come into our spawn group, spawn delay 0.01, yeah, like that. Here we go. Let's check it out. So that's 0.01 is not that much. Let's try 0.05. So they shouldn't spawn all at the same time. See how they slowly sort of trickle in like that? That's kind of cool. I like that. Let's make it even longer. Even longer. I thought that would be enough, but we'll do 0.1. So now that they'll sort of come in. Ooh, I like that. So they sort of filter in a little bit there. Ah, that was cool. That was cool. I like it. I like it. Give us a little bit of time to react. Okay. All right. Not bad. Not bad. Let's do another one here. ZXP, I'm so sorry. Let me give you bot, ignore, ZXJP. There we go. You were saying, what's the difference between system.out.print? I'm learning Java. Return and print are two very different things. We are doing C# here. But the main idea here, let me create a little temp project for you. Make their return example. Let me show you the difference here. I'm going to do it in C#. I don't have Java. I don't think I have a Java project installed here, but we can do a little bit of a test here to talk about what is a return. What does return do? The idea is that you're able to compute a value and get something back. So this is similar to print in Java. So if I run this program, here, it's just going to show hello world. So this is like a print ln in Java. Maybe. Come on. So I get hello world like that. Return doesn't actually print anything out. Return is used on a function. In Java, they're called methods, on a function or method. So we can do an int get number. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna return 7. So this function, this method, is going to return the number 7. If I call get number, it doesn't actually print anything. Get number doesn't actually print anything. But if I do a console.writeLine and call get number, what happens is this code here executes everything here, and then when it's done, it returns that value and substitutes it in here in its place. So now if I run this, we'll actually get hello world and then 7. So we could even do int x equals get number plus get number like this. We do get number plus get number. The value x, this evaluates to 7, this evaluates to 7, and x will actually be 14 if I run this. So you only use return when using a method? Yes, return is in a method is the only place you can actually put a return, because it says exit the method and then give this value back, substitute it in for the method call itself. I hope that makes sense, ZX. Good question. Thank you for asking. Proton Fig, thank you for rating me today. Folks, if you guys don't know Proton Fig, the incredible, the unstoppable, the astounding Proton Fig, go check him out. Incredible musician, graphician, and coder. Love that guy. Greasy says, what if you give each enemy a radial force vector pushing other enemies away? Should be a simple way to spread them out more, assuming you use force. They do, GT, they actually will push each other out of the way. They don't, when they are attacking, they can't be pushed. That's the one thing. So they actually do push each other out of the way, but when they're attacking, I made it so that they can't be pushed when they're attacking, because that was giving like weird behavior. No worries, Proton. Thank you for the rating one. ZXJP, thank you so much for the follow. ZXJP, thank you so much. Thank you for following me today. ZX, welcome to the stream. Welcome to the crew. Happy to have you. Proton, no disturbance. Thank you so much for being here. Have a beautiful day, my friend. Goob, welcome back to the stream. Folks, you guys don't know the average Goob. It should be the above average Goob. Be sure to give him some love. Oh, I forgot the shout out. I give Proton a shout out, so I can't give you one yet. Having a beautiful start to my morning. We're having a beautiful time. Yeah, GT, I hope that makes sense. Yeah, I was running into issues where the enemies, when they were attacking, were getting pushed in weird ways, so I didn't want that, so I took that out. Gotcha. Well, no worries, my friend. I hope it's going well. I hope it's going well. I'm wondering if it should be per enemy or per, yeah, it's certainly interesting. Glad to hear it, glad to hear it. So we should actually be able to do multiple different spawns at the same time here. I want to create this idea of a wave, get status, get, oh, I'm in the wrong folder now. Let's reopen this here. Get status, yeah, get add, get commit dash m, beat implement, or add spawn delay. There we go. Enjoy your sauna on this beautiful Sunday, my friend. Again, thank you so much for popping in, Proton. We love having here. Started learning Godot, Goob says. I already have my first Godot game planned to help me dive into it. Let's go, Godot. Let's Godot. Let's do it. Goob, that's awesome to hear. I'm so glad to hear that. Yeah, I can't wait to do a little bit more with Godot. All right, I'm having fun with this. Let's Godot. That's right. Let's make I want to create this idea of a wave of enemies. So we have like this series of enemies that come, and what we'll do is if there's enough enemies, that's the other thing. I want to keep track of the number of enemies, public int number of enemies, like this. So I want to keep track of the number of enemies that we have, and then as you kill them, I sort of want this thing that will say, in our waves, if we've killed all the enemies or the number of enemies gets too low, we will spawn the next set of enemies. So that way there's always enemies coming on the screen. So even if you finish a wave, you'll get more coming out. Want to hear an interesting fact, Captain? Go for it, Dev Mashup. You know I love to hear me some interesting facts. Proton, thank you so much. Follow Proton. Thank you for following the Captain Coder, Proton. Thank you so much again. Proton, thank you for the follow. Okay. Number of enemies here. If I missed anything in chat, feel free to at me. Sometimes things get a little bit messy here on the stream, and that's okay. Living enemies like this. What I'm gonna do is every time we spawn in an enemy, living enemies plus, we're gonna increase this number. And gotta follow the captain to help him to reach 4K. That's right. I don't know if unfollowing and refollowing helps that much, Proton, but it certainly doesn't hurt. If you unfollow and you refollow, Twitch gets a little confused with it. It was really funny the other day when we got to 3,000. It was like the number went back down and then went back up, and it cracked me up a little bit. All right, living enemies. What I want to do is, yes, in my grunt. All right, we need an enemy count controller. That's what we're gonna do. So all of our enemies are gonna have an enemy count controller on them. So let's go into our enemies. We're gonna create a new script here. It'll be our enemy count controller. Here we're gonna have this attached to our enemies. It doesn't count. Now everyone online, recruit one follower. It's no. So here's what we do. Not just one. You want to recruit 3, and then you have those 3 recruit 3, and then we end up with a pyramid scheme. We got to end up with the Captain Coder pyramid scheme. Can own a capybara depending on where you live in the U.S. You can have a pet. Really, you can have a pet capybara in Florida. Proton. Oh no. It's not a pyramid scheme. It's not a pyramid scheme. It's not a scheme at all. It's not a scheme at all. All right, so we're gonna do an enemy count controller like this. Enemy count controller. And the enemy count controller, it's not, no, Snabble, it's not it's a triangle scheme. Look, a pyramid requires 3 dimensions. A pyramid requires 3 dimensions. So in a pyramid scheme, you have 3 dimensions like this. See how this is a pyramid? If each follower recruits 3 people, and then each of those recruits 3 people, 1, 2, 3, and then so on and so forth. It's a triangle. Look, it's just a triangle. Just a triangle. There's no pyramid back here, right? You'd have to recruit, each person would have to recruit 9 people to make it a pyramid. So you got to fill that in. A hypercube scheme. At least we tried. At least we tried, Proton. You're the best. I love it. I love it. Okay. Our enemy count controller. Basically, this thing just listens for when the enemy despawns. So, oh, this is interesting. Mixed Source Studio, welcome into the stream. Great to see you. Great to have you here. I hope you're having a beautiful day. All right, so we'll do a public void awake. You don't need it to be public. This is like a built-in Unity thing. This is gonna go find object by type, find first object by type, and it's gonna be our arena controller. So when this thing wakes up, it goes finds the arena controller. It's going well. How's your day going? It's doing absolutely wonderful, Mixed Source Studio. How have you been? Oh, I already asked it. It's going well. Glad to hear it. What have you been up to is what I'll say. How have things been going for you? Also, what have you been working on stream? You're a streamer, right? I'm following you. You must be a streamer. You can create script in VS Code and not have to go back into Unity to create. Thought you had to create it directly in Unity, so Unity could create that. When I go back to Unity, it's going to create the meta file. I don't have to create it there. When I go into Unity, it will end up creating one for us. All right, so I'm creating an arena controller here. Arena controller. We'll serialize this field so we have access to it. We'll do arena controller like this. What I want to do is when this thing wakes up, we'll do arena controller. Really, I want to do public void on enable. Arena controller dot. I'm curious. Is on destroy a thing in Unity? Unity on destroy. I'm a little nervous about this. Is on destroy reliable in Unity? No, it's not. Dispose. I need to do something a little bit smarter. This is interesting here. I've been working on my new game, Elysium Isles. Don't have any videos yet, but it's coming along. Very cool. You can create a script. Yeah, very, very cool. All right, so when we destroy, what is the way I want to do this? My grunts. My poor dogs. My dogs are coming in here to plead with me. Please stop streaming. My grunt movement controller. Despawn. This needs to be on our enemy count controller here. So, and really maybe it should be just an enemy. So we're going to despawn this. When it despawns, do arena controller dot enemy living enemies plus minus like that. So when this object gets destroyed, let's actually do it before we call destroy, and then the game object will get destroyed. It's going to cause some issues here in a moment. I'm going to have to go fix this. So this method was important for when our enemies were getting despawned previously. We need to add this to our grunt prefab and update our animation to despawn it correctly now. So let's go into our grunt prefab. Let's search for grunt prefab. Our grunt prefab here needs to not just have a grunt movement controller, but it needs to have a enemy count controller to keep track of the enemies. And in our animation, in our grunt death, we need to update this script here. This despawn script no longer exists on the grunt, but is on our enemy count controller. So we need to call despawn there. Let's give it a shot. Let's make sure it still works. Are scriptable objects reliable? Depends on what you mean by reliable. Let's go ahead and do a spawn. All right, so living enemies up to 64. Okay, so there's a little bit of a bug here that I've done in my arena controller. I'm counting the enemies twice. We're gonna get rid of it here, and instead the enemy is in charge of adding itself to the count and then removing itself from the count. I don't know if this is a good idea or not, but I think it will be okay. But we'll watch this living enemies come up. When you say reliable, what do you mean? So I use them in builds all the time. Can you use them between runs? No. Yeah, so here we go. It is count. Notice the number of enemies here is being reduced. And there we go. So as you kill them, when it despawns, there it goes to 0. Sweet. Let's make sure we can spawn in lots of enemies. 64. Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay. So that seems to be working. Let's do a commit. Get status. Let me ask him. Yeah. Feel free to. I need some clarification. There are some caveats with scriptable objects. Get commit. You bring a club to a gunfight. 2 nerdy nerds. Welcome back to the stream. Feature. Implement enemy count. Hey, Temptic. I am doing wonderful. How are we all doing, folks? 1's in the chat if you're doing well. 1's in the chat if you're doing well. 2's in the chat if you're doing okay. And 3's in the chat if you're happy to be here. I guess what I mean is if they can exist outside of the Unity Play Edit, Unigame is actually on another device. So scriptable objects do not save outside of the editor. So you cannot use a scriptable object to save your data, to store data between in play. Once it's built, scriptable object will always start in the state it was when the build occurred. So if you're using it to save data, it won't save between sessions, which is different behavior than in the editor. In the editor, if a scriptable object changes during play mode, it changes in the editor. So I don't know if that answered your question. CodeMonkey has a really good video on it as well. CodeMonkey, let me go find it. CodeMonkey scriptable object Unity. Yeah, what are scriptable objects? Warning, be careful with scriptable objects. This is the video. Let me, 1 second, I don't know why. Here we go. This video explains the dangers of it. Yeah, so it's totally fine to use scriptable objects in your builds. If you want to use them between builds is when things can get a little bit messy. If you want to use it to save data, which is a common mistake you have, because in the editor it will work fine, and then when you go to play, it doesn't work fine between them. Okay. So we have our spawns happening now. What I want to do next is we want to make it so that we can have waves of enemies. All right, so we're gonna have it make it so we can have waves of enemies. As we kill the enemies, they drop down and die. One thing that we potentially might do is make it so that it's a little bit weird that the enemy doesn't count as dead until it's, maybe this is fine. Maybe there's some sort of resurrection thing that could happen here. I want to define this thing called a wave. 2 nerdy nerds, welcome back to the stream, my friend. I hope you're having a beautiful day. I don't know exactly what I showed you, but we got some fun stuff going on in here. We have our character on the back here. We made some terrain. Let's spawn in some enemies here. We made some cavemen as well. They come at you. They swing their clubs at you. They beat you up. We don't have a life bar yet. We're gonna add in some life and stuff in here. What I wanna do though is make it so we can specify waves of enemies that show up that are on a timer at slash setup. So as you kill enemies, more will come as well. Because we wanna limit the number of things on the screen, I think, just to make sure our game's gonna run nice in the web on different computers and different browsers. So that's the plan that I have right now, is to add in a wave here. So we're going to come into our arena. We're going to create a new file here. This is going to be enemy wave data here. It's going to be a scriptable object. I'm having a lot of fun with it. I wish I wasn't a better artist, because the art is taking me a really long time to make, and I still have to make so today I'm going to have to make, I think I have a lot of the logic down for the project. I need to make at least 2 more enemies. 2 more enemies that will increase the challenge of the game. One of the maybe just 1 more, but I want to make a boss enemy as well. So there's some stuff in there that I got to think about how I want to approach it. So this is going to be our enemy wave data, like this. Okay. And it's going to be an enemy wave enemy wave. And what this is going to do, it's going to have just like a series of events that will happen here. How many shoutouts do I have? Scriptable objects. They're super useful to have. I think I've nested them maybe a little bit too much here, but I use scriptable objects all the time. Scale up your current enemy to make the boss or elite version. To nerdy nerds. Yes, correct. You got it. You know what I'm going to do. I want to make it a little bit different though. So the premise of this game is that an evolution experiment gone wrong. So scientists created a primordial soup that they were hoping to use to evolve things to get into their ultimate form. Unfortunately, it had the opposite effect, and it devolves. The primordial soup now devolves things. So your pet chicken devolved into a triceratops here. so a lot of the scientists got covered in the de-evolutional primordial soup, and so now they're cavemen. They're cavemen here. So these are the devolved scientists. They're cavemen here. Your chicken devolved into a triceratops. We're gonna have some other birds. I want to make a pterodactyl, so it's gonna have devolved into other things. And so what's gonna happen, and then the boss here is, we will have a giant caveman, but that's the idea, is there's a primordial soup that devolves these things. And so this is your pet chicken, cluck. You're riding around on a cluck. And so devolved here, you're the only one left. You're the only one left in the facility, so you gotta save the people. Yeah, de-evolutional experiment. The military is always experimenting on weird things, so that's what we're doing here. So our enemy wave here, this is gonna be we need another entry for this. It's gonna be public. Yeah, this is gonna be a public class wave entry. And the wave entry is going to have in a public float delay. So this is how long it's going to wait after this wave to start the next one. And then it's going to have a public enemy spawn group like this. All right, we're going to serialize this. And then what we want is going to be a list of wave entries like this. So our enemy wave data is going to have a list of the things we want to do. Scope creeping, is this beginning for a charge attack? Yeah, two nerdy nerds, I want to do a charge attack. There's several things I want to do. Time is the part that's tough here. A charge attack, a trample attack, I think is going to be one of those things that won't be that hard to make. But it's all about time, so I want to have a charge attack. I also want to add in a tail to this enemy, to our player. As we move, I want the tail to sort of swing around and for you to be able to whip things with your tail. So the answer is I have many, many ideas. Will I be able to pull anything off? Probably not. I have about 30 hours left to finish this. The nerd stole my spot, 22. It's true. Beegs, congratulations on your number 23. Welcome into the stream. I hope you're having a beautiful day. Folks, if you guys don't know Beegs, I have an idea for why won't it let me? I typed /shout Beegs, not shout out Beegs. I just want to shout at you. Beegs, welcome to the stream, folks. If you guys don't know Beegs, incredible fun stream over there. Your stream is insane. If you want a stream where you can't, where you get so distracted you can't get anything done, Beegs, Two Nerdy Nerds are the place to be. Beegs, I hope you're having a beautiful day. How's your game entry coming along? We are over here making a twin stick shooter. I'm having so much fun. Luna, great to see you. Captain Anosa, sorry I missed you there. Hope you're having a beautiful day. Temptic, so wonderful to see all you amazing people here, making my morning so wonderful. It's so great to see all of you wonderful people here. What was I doing? Yeah, I'm making a wave here. So in our enemies here, I want to create enemy waves, create a folder here, waves like this. And so I'm going to create a FHG enemy wave here. So we can have Cool, Chow. Thank you for all the follows. Long live chaos with all the follows there. Oh boy, oh. Thanks. Thank you so much for the follow. Thank you so much for the spam, Chow. I appreciate it. Look, we got 2 long-lived chows today, not just one. That's hilarious. All right, we're gonna call this our grunt level 0 waves. Okay, so our level 0 waves here. So we're gonna start off with just our 32 grunts here, and then so this is how long we wait after we spawn them to start the next group. So I'm gonna put in here that we're gonna wait 10 seconds, and then after 10 seconds we'll spawn another group just to test this out. Spawn another group like that. So we're gonna get too many. We're gonna get 128 grunts over the course of 40 seconds, and it should spawn in slowly. I thought the jam was running for a whole week. Are you looking to submit? I'm doing the gauntlet, Tuner Nerds. I'm doing the gauntlet. So for Fox Hollow's jam, there are 2 modes. There's casual for all the filthy casuals out there. No, I'm kidding. I'm just kidding. And casual mode, you're allowed to do it in teams. You can use assets that you didn't create. But you can't use AI, and then you incorporate both things. The gauntlet, this is insane. I don't know why I'm putting myself through this. You have to complete everything solo. All assets must be created during the jam. This is the part that's killing me here, is having to create all these assets during the jam. So all of the art is, I don't want to say slowing me down. I'm having a lot of fun with it, but it certainly is slower by doing it here. Luna says, I just done an exam in my afternoon. Sweet. Should be early or something. Yeah, it's 5:30 a.m. here. Free for the summer. Oh yeah, enjoy your summer, Luna. I hope you have a beautiful summer. Any fun plans for the summer? But yeah, so this is hardcore mode, and so I've been making all of the art assets here. Which has been super fun to do. Don't get me wrong, it's been super fun. It's been a lot of work. Made the grass texture that you see. We made in these different vector graphics for our game. So we have all our player objects and stuff in there as well. So that's been cool. All right, so we're gonna have a wave here. And what I want to do in my arena controller is we're gonna have a public enemy wave data, wave data. I guess I'll just call it wave data here. And after we spawn, we need to keep track of where we are in it. BitDash Software Freedom Forge was on it. What a wild ride. I felt so bad. I hope he's doing well. Yeah, got him some sleep there this morning though. Yeah, so hopefully he's resting. Hopefully he's having a beautiful day. Whoa. BitDash Software, you know I love you so. We've got BitDash Software rating. Thank you so much, my friend. BitDash, how you doing? What were you doing on your stream? Thank you so much for the raid. Love having you here. Thank you so much for being on the journey with us with Freedom Forge Studios. Okay, see ya. Thanks for my little problem yesterday. I think I'm a little behind, so I really need to work today. Get some work done, Dev Mashups. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Remember to keep going, keep growing, keep being the best you can be. You're welcome back, dude. How are you implementing the input randomness? So the idea with the input randomness is you're gonna be able to select which wave you want before you do the next part of the game. So my original idea, and we're gonna scope this down a little bit. My original idea is, and we might still have time to do this, but after you finish an area, you need to select the next area you're going to go. So that procedurally generates sort of the maze for you. The idea being, after each round, you can either go north, east, south, or west. And these areas have been generated at the beginning with the waves, and there's going to be a map. The idea was to have a map originally that would pop up and tell you all of the different areas. So each area will have a wave, and then when you finish that area, there will be a reward. So you might get a power up, a different weapon that you can use. Maybe you get life, and when you look at your map, you can see, oh, I'm here. in this area, there's just grunts and a healing, and I can heal here. So I might go here to do that. You also will know that the end game is here. So you might have the boss over here. And so you might plan your path out this way to get to the boss because you know that's the easiest path, or you might take a hard path to try and get there. So that is where the input randomness is coming from. It's going to procedurally generate a maze, quote unquote maze, for getting into the boss area. I don't know if that makes sense. Our cat desktop companion is starting to come together. He explodes. Oh, he explores his environment. I was like, he explodes his environment. Eats food, jumps. Much more to do. That sounds awesome. That sounds awesome. So we're in the process of getting that set up now where we have these waves. And so these waves will be randomly selected and placed. We'll have to do a ranking on them as well. Exploding kitten is a good idea. Please don't explode the kittens. Please don't explode the kittens. All right, so our arena controller here, this is going to be our wave data like this. We want to keep track of which part of the wave we're in. Int ix is 0. Public next wave index here, so we can like traverse through it. And what we'll do here is when we spawn next, it's actually going to take in when we start up. Yeah, what spawn next, I guess I can get rid of this next spawn here. Spawn next is actually going to do our wave data at next wave index. Wave data dot entries. It's gonna get the next wave entry. Is this not the right thing? Cannot convert. This should be spawn enemy. Oh, I see. This is our wave entry like that. Yeah. So this is gonna be our spawn dot entries dot spawn group like that. So go ahead and get the next spawn group. This is a very informative stream. That gamer, I'm glad you're finding it informative. I appreciate that. Look, we're having a lot of fun here. We're going for it. We also want to say if next wave ix is greater than wave data entries dot length count, then we don't have anything to spawn. So it's like the end. Put a little to do here. To do end last wave complete, nothing to spawn. So that's sort of idea here. Exploding Kittens is a board game. I have it somewhere. I don't know if I have it on this shelf back here, but I do own the game. Comes in at the version I have it in a cool little box that makes meowing sounds when you open it. So we're gonna start the coroutine on this next one here. We need to add in there's gonna be another thing here, a float delay. The delay is gonna specify how long until the next one. So after they're all done spawning, how long is it gonna take here? So we'll do a wave data dot entries dot delay dot delay. How long is it? What did I call it? What did I call it? Oh, entries next wave dot delay like that. When we've finished this out here, then we'll do next wave plus plus, so we increase it to the next one. Let me rephrase. Exploding Kittens is a great game. Yeah, you gotta put those double quotes for safety. It's like when we say we gotta destroy children, but we gotta make sure we're destroying the children in a game, the game objects children. We're not destroying real children, just game object children. After we have finished spawning all of these, we'll do a yield return wait delay. Return new wait 4 seconds delay here. And then we'll call spawn next like that. So the idea here is that when this done spawning things, it'll spawn the next. We also, there's a little thing here we want to do is say wait for this or something else. I gotta make sure, I'm curious if I can do an or with these weights. We gotta figure that out. I'm not 100% sure. But let's try this here. We should keep getting enemies spawning now. Don't want to know, that's right. We gotta be careful. Look, your search history is talking about destroying children. Oh no. Oh no. All right, so let's go ahead and start off here spawning these. We should keep getting enemies spawning every 10 seconds here in a second. There they go. All right, I wasn't fast enough. So you'll notice we're on wave 2. It says down in the inspector over on the bottom right. 10 seconds is almost the exact amount of time we need for my skill level to defeat these guys. All right, I was a little bit faster that time. Okay. So like this one feels like it's maybe a little bit, might be a little bit too challenging for the level 0 spawn. All right, and we defeated all of them here. As a DM for D&D, I Googled what's the kill radius of dinosaurs, so I'm on a list for sure. How many actually have you had about cavemen and dinosaurs so far? So Biggs, the premise of the game. Here's the premise of the game. The theme is primordial, and a group of scientists are trying to create a primordial soup. They're creating a primordial soup that can evolve things. That's the idea. They've created a primordial soup to evolve things. Unfortunately, it's actually a de-evolutionizing soup. So this chicken, you're actually writing on a devolved chicken. This chicken devolved into a triceratops. The cavemen actually are devolved scientists. So the scientists devolved into cavemen. So actually, it all makes sense. Perfect sense. Mixed Studios, Mixed Source, thank you so much for the number 25. So it's a devolved chicken. Look, it's its ancestor. Don't you see? Look, it's clucking around. So it's a devolved chicken. Did I answer your question, Beaks? Also, actually, indeed. I got that quite a bit yesterday. Chickens are pretty weird looking to begin with, to be fair. It's true. This is true. All right, so we got our basic wave working. Get status, imagination. Get ahead, get commit, feed, implement, basic, wave spawner. I want to make it so that way it'll actually start spawning things. Is there a way to yield return one or the other? Unity yield return or yield return is a special kind of return. I hate, look, I'm starting to think I don't like Bing. I thought I liked Bing a little bit better than Google, but I don't know that I do. Is there an or? I want to do wait for I can do a Boolean, but that's not quite what I want. To spread an effect over a period of time. I love that Cap has a legit story for why cavemen and dinosaur exist together again. I'd have to come up with the story, but still just said, nah, you're wrong. Cavemen definitely exist at the same time to chat. Yeah. We got Homo erectus here. Homo erectus. They're not cavemen, they're Homo erectus. So, I think I can do this. Well, delay is greater than 0. Delay minus equals time dot delta time. Yield return. I can't quite do this. Maybe I can. Okay, no, I can do this. We're gonna do a yield return null. And then we'll do if enemies Living enemies is less than 10. Break. Okay. I guess we could do that first too. Or and living enemies is greater than 10. Do it like this. Homo erectus. That is PG-10. That gamer. Yeah. All right. So what I want it to do is we'll spawn more enemies if we get low enough now. Look it up. Google it. It's safe to Google. I promise. All right. We do have to take a break here. We've been going for a little bit over 90 minutes. I just wanted to get this spawn working here. So when I get down to 10 of these enemies, we should have the next group spawn automatically. So we're down to 10. Yeah, there we go. So it'll always spawn at 10. We could potentially make that number a little bit different. Maybe add it in as a variable as well. But it'll always spawn things in now as they start clearing out. I want to make it a little bit higher. It's because they don't count as dead until they have faded out of existence there. I read a sci-fi books where some big experiment put I can't pronounce the word, put a bunch of these things together, some super smart gorilla descendants all in the same place. Interesting stuff. Ooh, that does sound interesting. All right, and if we just leave it, one other thing I think I want to do is I want to limit the number of enemies that can be on the screen at the same time. I think I'm going to limit, just because I don't want anything terrible to happen when the game is running. I think we're going to limit it to, let's start with 128 enemies at the same time. So that way when it goes to spawn, it won't actually, it'll wait until there aren't too many enemies on the screen. I think that will cause a problem, especially if I'm not doing object pooling. 120 enemies feels pretty good. You're tranquilizing those scientists. We're re-evolving them. Oh, that's a good question. Maybe we're shooting them with evolution pills. We're turning them back into scientists. Yeah, tranquilizing them. We're revolving or revolver. We're resolving them. We're here with the retcon. It's okay. Look. It's okay. All right, we're gonna put a limit in here. Public, int minimum enemies, minimum enemies. Spawn next wave win. And what should I call this number? I want a number that's like minimum erectus, minimum enemies. Let's go with 10. Public int maximum enemies. We go with 128 here. So we're gonna adjust it. Camera were built different. They can take it. This is true. Minimum enemies. And then we're gonna put another thing in here that says yield return weight, but we'll do a yield return weight for. There's like a weight boolean. Wait for. Isn't there a wait? I thought there was a wait on a boolean. Wait until minimum. All right, then we got to do a boolean, I think here. Wait until bool. Yeah, we give a predicate here. Wait until, and this is going to be living enemies is less than maximum enemies. New wait until. Really, I need to make this. We don't need to be constructing a new one of these every time. Wait until. It's this thing. Wait until. Call this ensure. Ensure. Wait for fewer enemies. All right, there we go. Thank you for the daily. Congratulations on your number 26, Sijian. It is a little bit sus. That's right, two nerdy nerds. All right, let's test this out a little bit here. I'm going to set the maximum enemies to like 20. See how that goes, and we'll increase it from there. And that way we can make it. He's sleeping. He's sleeping, yeah. He's not dead, he's sleeping. All right, so we should only get 20 enemies. There we go. As they die, it'll spawn one enemy at a time now. There we go. And if I just switch this up to 128, they should start spawning in much quicker. Oh, it's because the wave just finished. That's what it is. Thank you for the hat, Temptic, I think. Oh, it has living enemies set to 117. Oh, I did the wrong thing. I should have set this to 128. There we go. This number is incorrect. We'll set that to 0. Tempting, thank you for the hat. Let's get a hat added to the stack. You're just in time for the break, my friend. Tempting, there we go. Thank you for the hat. And if we come back in here, we should get another wave of them coming. If I set the maximum enemies to 50, it will stop until I kill enough to get that number down to 50, and then they should start spawning in again. Like that, just testing it out. There it goes. Stops at 50. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. The IKEA hat makes an appearance. It's true. This is true. All right, sweet. Get status, get add, get commit. Beat admin max enemies to arena controller. Okay, we got it. When we come back from the break, our next goal is to add in a couple new weapons. We're going to add in a spread shot weapon, and then I also want to add in a laser weapon. So the spread shot's going to be easy, I think. The laser is going to be a little bit more difficult. We might make it like more of a bomb instead. So I was thinking the laser would shoot through anything that you're pointing. It'd be like a one-shot long cooldown. It shoots a big laser, kills everything in its path, and then waits. And then, so we'll see. We'll see if we can do that. The spread shot's gonna be easy because just three of the objects we currently have. Folks, I'm gonna take a quick break. We're gonna get some more bean water. We're gonna get some more fresh water. Make sure you guys hydrate when we come back. There's more Primordial Rage, Primordial TV, whatever we want to call it. Primordial Smash, that's what it is. Don't go anywhere. I'll return. Our dopamine. Oh, I got that fix. Oh. All right, we are back. It's hot, that gamer. It's hot here. It is currently, let's check my watch. If you're in America, it is currently 80 degrees Fahrenheit. If you live in a country where 80 degrees Fahrenheit doesn't make sense, 26.7 Celsius, 26.6 Celsius. So it's spicy here. It's only gonna get hotter. It's 6 a.m. local. It's supposed to get up to 110 today. So it's gonna be 43 Celsius later today. Yeah, it's 5:55 a.m. It's getting up to 110 today. So I gotta take the dogs on a walk. Yeah, 5 a.m., 5:55 a.m. local time. So it's gonna get spicy. Yeah, so after the stream, I take my dogs on a walk, and then we're gonna get back into it. But before that, before we were gonna go for another hour here, I want to add in a spread shot attack. They'll send the bullets in 3 directions. So right now we have this prefab here. It is a single projectile. I thought, do I have a weapon prefab? I feel like there's a weapon prefab. Projectile spawn weapon. Here it is. A pea shooter. All right, so let's make a new one. We're gonna call this spread shot, like that. And rather than projectile, what's interesting here, projectile, I want to, there's gonna have to be, it's not gonna be as easy as I want here. Let's duplicate this. We're gonna call this spread shot. And spread shot's actually gonna have 3 projectiles in it. And they're gonna go in different directions. All right, so it's gonna have 3. Let's duplicate the bullet. Speed bullet. Yeah, this is interesting. This needs to have 3. So I have a projectile controller on it, actually. So this one needs to be a projectile controller. It needs to have a rigid body. All right, so our spread shot here, let's get rid of these. And instead, the spread shot's actually gonna have 3 projectiles in it. So we have the 3 projectiles. What's interesting is the way that the projectile works is, let's rotate this 45. So they all sort of will start like this, and then this one will be negative 45. We'll have it move over. What's interesting is I kind of think I need to change my projectile code so it's going forward from its current position at this speed. Right now I'm setting the speed, I think, in a different way. Let's look at this script. Direction here is not quite right. I think I want to just make it so it's going forward. Its direction should just be in front of it. And maybe I can actually, in my projectile, add a little node so we can calculate the forward direction of it. But I think I can just do this local transform dot forward to get this. At mine, it's about 35C or something at the day. It's night for me now. Gotcha. It's getting hot. It's getting hotter here. It's warming up in where I live. I'm gonna call this pea shooter, rather than projectile. And our pea shooter actually is gonna have inside of it, it's just gonna be a plain object that has a single projectile inside. And our projectile needs to know how to propel itself forward. And so what will happen is this will the rotation on this will cause everything inside to go the correct way. I think that's how I want to do this. Let's go back to our pea shooter here. Call this pea shooter data. So it's a little, and this will be our pea shooter prefab. And so our pea shooter here, the projectile is actually P. Oh, interesting. Okay, let's go look at our pea shooter. It's just gonna be a, rather than a projectile controller. Interesting. Projectile controller. I think I might just make it a game object. Game object. And this is the prefab that we will spawn. And it's in itself will just have the speed. It'll just know how to do it. Yeah, I think that's the way to go. Direction goes away. We don't set the direction. Instead, we will set our velocity. Rigid body dot velocity is going to be equal to transform dot forward. It's the vector 3 though, so it's not transform dot forward. It's like a transform dot up times speed. This should do it. We also want to make this thing not have any linear drag on it. So this should do it here. There's gonna be, I'm surprised I'm not seeing a player turret controller. There should be some, yeah, compilation errors here. This is just gonna be a new game object. And we set the position and rotation. We don't have to set the direction anymore. It just knows how to do it. Let's come back to our code here. See if we have any compilation errors. We're gonna update our projectile. Like this. Gonna be our pea shooter prefab. Let's see if we can still shoot. Okay. So even though it's rotating those, the up is not correct, which is interesting. We wanted to zoom in here. We can see when I fire, the bullet is in the projectile is the direction it should go, but up is always vector 2 dot up. Maybe it is forward. Let's try that. Try right. We'll try right. Let's see what that is. I think it might actually just be forward. Sijin, good. I was thinking because we are in, could always translate it based on this as well. No, transform dot right here is always. Oh, it's because this object is not actually, it's like it's world space. All right, so what's happening, I think, is that it is not, wouldn't that rotate itself as well? This is interesting. I can do something where we calculate this. Maybe we just calculate it and I do a hack. I'm a little surprised this doesn't work. Yeah, forward is in the Z. It's like moving towards the screen now, but we are in orthographic view. Okay, we're gonna calculate this. I'm gonna do something a little bit silly. Public. Ooh, got the multi cursor going here. Public transform forward. We're just gonna put a transform in. I don't want to waste too much time doing this, so I'm just gonna add a little thing in here that we can set the forward on it directly, and then I don't have to think about the math of what's going on in here. I think it's because the parent object is rotated, not the child object, and so its rotation is, I thought it would use its world rotation, but apparently it uses its local rotation. Let's go into our projectile here. It's our basic bullet projectile. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna add in a new component in here called forward. And we're just gonna put this out in front of it here. So now this projectile's forward should be here. We can use this to calculate the direction of movement that we want. So when we wake up, we can do a vector to movement or direction is going to be our forward move. I guess it could just be forward equals forward dot position. Is that gonna work? So that's dot. Local position also won't work because it will be rotated. So it has to be its position. And then this, all right, move toward vector 2 dot move towards transform dot position to forward dot position 1, like this. So move towards this thing. It's going to be offset, so we actually have to subtract out our transforms position here as well to get what it should be, and then we'll normalize it. And so this should be our direction times speed. I think this will work. The math might be I might have some variables I have to swap the order on here. We're going to find out here in just a moment. No. What is going on here? Let's go look at our pea shooter prefab. If my projectile, it's forwards there. If I rotate this, the forwards in front. Okay. Direction, forward dot position, transform dot position. I'm surprised this doesn't work. I'm really surprised this doesn't work. Yeah. All right. What's the hotkey to pause? Is it Control P, Control Shift P? All right. I don't know if I can. That's interesting. There's some minor issues here now too. I can't pause fast enough. Can I slow? All right, let's do this. Let's go down to the bottom of the screen. All right, let's go look at these. The projectile. Let's go into our scene. Yeah, it's at an angle here. Its position. It should be doing it. Let's have it draw in our. Hang on. Let's do a. In our update. Public void update debug.draw line from our position to our direction plus our position. Okay. Then we'll also be able to see what direction it's calculated. I'm going to take my projectile, I'm going to slow it way down. Bruce Malt, enjoy your lunch break, my friend. What are you having? Bruce, welcome back. I'm doing absolutely wonderful. We're having a little bit of a struggle. Not too bad. I'm slowing this bullet down here to 1 so we can actually see it in our scene. We're having a problem where we can't get the correct direction here. We are always ending up going up. That's super interesting. That is super interesting. I don't understand that. So we are, see, it is going the direction it says it's going. If I click on my normalization must be wrong. My direction is always 0, 1. All right, so it's going the way. Interesting. Transform.position to forward.position. What? This is so weird. I want to see what it is before I'm so confused. I'm boozled. I've been boozled by the Unity. Let's see if we can figure out what's going on here. That is so bizarre. I don't understand. The world space position. Debug.log transform.position. Hang on. Forward.position. Huh. Feels like those are not correct. Like it's almost like it's on the pulling out the original. I think it awakes before it sets these values. It needs to set these values. I think that's what's happening. Yeah, look. These values are happening in awake. It's always 0, 0, 37. Before the position has been set, it has done this. So it's almost like we need to have in a little thing that on the next frame, it does it. Set velocity. That's weird. Game Maker, doing well, my friend. How are you doing on this beautiful day? Let me show you in just a second here. I want to do, this is a little bit weird, but I enumerator yield wait yield return new wait for end of frame. Start coroutine set velocity. This feels weird. This is such a hack. When I spawn this thing, we need to wait for these values to be set. The same thing will happen in start, I believe. Yeah, there we go. So let's try it. Let's try. Let's see what happens if we do this in start. We'll do awake here. I don't think start will do it. I think the same thing is happening. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. The Dolphin! Welcome back to the stream. Great to see you. Dash Razier. Let's check here. I don't think it'll work in start either, but I could be wrong. Wait, I'm so confused. I don't understand. All right, well, there we go. I don't understand. Apparently, I don't understand when start is called. So what is happening is we set the rotation here. So we set we spawn the object, then we set the rotation. And what is interesting, and I don't quite understand, is start isn't called until after it is in the scene. I thought awake and start sort of happen at the same time. Awake is called when the class initiates. Start is called when the object is created before the first update. Oh, today I learned. Points, add Das Razier. Some great, thank you. 500 points. Very nice. We do set position and rotation here. When you say using instantiate, then I have to tell it if I think I need. Oh, I can do that. I thought I would have to tell it what the parent is to do that. Player.projectile.spawn.position. Player.turret.transform.rotation. Ooh, let's try it. Unity coder. It's a long line. I'm not sure I like that better or not. Seems fine. There we go. We can shoot these things out now. All right, so we can get rid of that debug. Unity coder, thank you for that. Points. Add Unity coder. How the heck have you been? It's great to see you, my friend. I hope you've been well. All right, let's change our speed on these as well. Back to 25. Seemed like the right speed for them. On holiday still, so mostly away. I hope you're enjoying your holiday. Hope you're enjoying it. All right, so this is our basic projectile here. Speed 25. Let's put our game back up here. Let's zoom back out. There we go. All right, so there's a little bit of a problem here with this pea shooter spawning in. The projectile has children. When it wakes up, we need to set a direction like this. I want to deparent. Technically, the correct answer is Unity will instantiate object, then run awake, then start. If it's from loading a scene, then all objects will awaken. Only then will Unity run start. Cyber Angel, thank you so much for the clarification. Unity will instantiate the object, run awake, then start. So let me ask then. So Cyber Angel, I don't know. My confusion is here. So, oh, I guess I can't make this size and see it. Let me shrink the font down. We call instantiate. It even when I had this going like this. All right, so I have it like this. We call instantiate. We call set position. What's interesting is, oh, you're saying I think I could do this in awake now? Hang on, if I do, I'm curious. Let's try this. If I do this, can I move it to awake? Got it fixed. Let's go. Let's find out. Start seems like it doesn't happen until the next frame. Like the game object isn't in there yet. All right, so that now that I have that instantiate there, we're set it in instantiate. What was interesting to me is now this won't work in awake, but it works in start. So this method finishes, a frame occurs, and then this happens. Yeah, so it's a little bit interesting. So this is where I was getting this weird. The direction was always going up because that direction was not set yet. Oh, let's keep going forward. This is good to know. Cyber Angel, thank you so much. That's good to know. It's great to know. I didn't know that, and now I know. We're not using this. Can I do this in this version of C#? Game object will run start before first frame update. So it's on enable will be between awake. So awake actually happens before this method finishes. So awake happens, it does instantiate awake, and then at the start of the next frame, it runs start. If I'm correct. That seems to be the case. The order here is really interesting to think about. All right, there we go. Now we can fire in all of these directions. You'll notice this, the prefab here, it needs to D children. Coroutines run on a frame per frame basis. Well, I have no coroutines now. This is, I'm saying, like, this coroutine has nothing to do with what was happening here. Instantiate isn't a coroutine. Is it? Is instantiate a coroutine? I don't think it is. I know coroutines run frame on frame. It's not related to the frame. It was that this thing, it's having some issues with it. One thing that's interesting here is I need to have, it's like a game object here. Parent. Does like the projectile parent, I need to take all the things inside dparentum. And then I want to mark the parent to be destroyed. Start is not being called actually directly after this. Start doesn't happen until the start of the next frame. Instantiate is calling awake, but start wasn't being called until later. I think you are correct. I still kind of like having this direction here. Let's try it. I think you are correct. Form dot right. And I can demonstrate it, Cyber Angel. But the start actually wasn't happening until the start of the next frame. I think dot up is what we want. We have curved bullets now. Right, so that's what I was saying. Start is actually not going to be into the next frame. There we go. All right, one thing I want to do is I want to take all of the children from this object, deparent them for each transform child in parent.transform. Child.parent equals null. Is this how we do it? Child.set parent. Null. Is this the appropriate way to do it? We want to dechild it, and then I want to mark the game object be destroyed. Destroy parent.game object. Yeah, well, I don't even need to. I think I understand it here. Yes, because the current frame ran on instantiate. Yeah, so this doesn't call start. All I'm saying is instantiate doesn't call start, but it does call awake. Because it like the code, or it seems to call awake. Because the rotation on the next line, I set the rotation, it wasn't getting set there. Unity calls awake and start, not instantiate. Well, something is calling awake before this line executes. Awake is called before this line. Awake is called before this line. I wonder if under the hood awake is used to initialize the component and start to use to set up the next item. All right, because I think I can debug.log after instantiate. All right. Debug.log awake void debug.log start. All I'm saying is that it's happening before the end of the method, where start's not happening until after the method ends. I think. Let's find out. Awake. Ooh, awake's being called before. Yeah, awake after instantiate start. Yeah, so awake is being triggered before this line of code. Start doesn't trigger until this method has exited. So just good to know. I wonder if under the hood awake is used to initialize the component, start is used to set them up. Yeah, this is new information to me. I thought awake and start were sort of almost similar. One way to find out if start is in the next frame is to log the frame awake is called, and then start time.frame count gives you the frame number. This, whatever event is happening, it's happening during the same frame. And in fact, like immediately after this, it's interesting. It's interesting. I don't think it's that important. It's useful information. Okay. Lance, welcome back to the stream. It's going well. We are adding in, I forgot what I was doing. Oh, we're making it this projectile. So we've got projectiles here. Like this. Congratulations on your 27. Thank you for the doy. So we're adding in projectiles. I'm making a spread shot attack. So the whole idea here. Thank you for the hat. Yeah, the execution order. See, this is where I thought I was already confused, though. Thank you for the hat. Thank you for the hat. This is what I thought I had in my mental model. Let's take a look at it. Das, thank you. So, initialization here, when I call the initialize method, it does this. Like it's forcing the awake to be called. I'm like still a little confused on what start is only ever called once for a given script. That's fine. So this is why I was a little bit confused. I thought initialize would put it into the scene, and then later all the things I could do during that frame would be okay. But apparently this is happening when I call instantiate, awake is being called. When I call instantiate, awake is being called. So just a little fun fact thing that I don't quite... This picture doesn't seem to show all of the things that were happening, whereas start actually didn't happen until the method was done. Initialize seemed to happen, awake seemed to happen almost immediately. In fact, it happened before this next line of code. Okay. Now I want to create this new weapon. Thank you for the hat, by the way, Lance. Projectile. Spread shot is going to take in our spread shot. I'm going to call it spread shot prefab. Spread shot prefab. And let's give this to our player. So we should be able to be sad. Spread shot prefab. Oh, I have the wrong. Spread shot prefab should be our weapon. I see. Weapon. Type. Weapon. Data. Let me rename this. Data. And player spread shot weapon data. There we go. Now we got a spread shot. What's interesting, I'm only seeing 2 come out of it. Let's go to our spread shot prefab. This feels weird. I don't quite understand why we're not getting 3. Or we got 3, I felt like. We're only getting 2. I'm wondering if this is related to destroying the object. There's a legend that if you tell about all 49 mono-behavior lifecycle methods at an interview, then they are afraid to hire you. If you can do that, they would be afraid of being shown up. That's a hilarious thing. If you can tell. Why do we only get 2 here? Bruce Malt, I believe it. Pretty much. All right, so what's interesting... see if I can pause fast enough. Let's get over here. The projectile is not being de-parented. This is weird. Child.game. This is super weird to me. That for each is not doing what I think it should do. Debug.log child.gameObject.name. Surly, 35 more minutes. You're almost there. You already got those daily points as well. Thank you guys so much for your help. I feel like I learned something new today. 250 points, all you beautiful. I learned something new every day, but I learned learned something significant there with that information. That is weird. Notice it's only doing it. This for each doesn't get all of the children. All right, let's do for int ix equals 0, ix less than parent.transform.child count ix plus plus. Transform child equals parent.transform.get child ix. The for each didn't get every child. That's weird to me. I don't understand that. Zero, one. What? All right, hang on. Pea shooter prefab. Spread shot prefab. This should have 3 children. Spread shot data. Has 3 children. Why is it only getting... Oh, hang on. Yeah, that's what I want. Negative 0.25. 0.25. Yeah, it's fascinating there. Debug.break. Oh, I need to go backwards. Here, Because I'm removing the child. Ah, I know what's going on. I know what's going on. We need to start. We need to go backwards. It's because I'm removing the child and then the index is changing. I need to start. I need to go backwards here. I've run into this issue before. No, this isn't commented out. It's the order I was going through these was backwards. Here, I'll show you. I'll show you the problem. I'll show you the problem. I can show you. Prodigal Son. The Prodigal Son returns. Welcome to the stream. Capped my camp for all my coding. Welcome in. Yeah, I need to run it backwards because I'm removing the children so that I'm modifying the iterator. So certainly the for each did this too. The for each also, I was surprised the for each did it. The for each had a problem with it as well. I'm destroying the parent at the end. This is why I took the parent out. So the parent is like a package that contains all the projectiles, so I want to pull them out and then destroy the parent object. This, I think, will work here. Yeah, so the parent itself didn't need to... Okay, out of bounds. Greater than or equal to 0. -1. Okay. Gabriel, I'm sorry. We gotta be careful not to destroy too many children, too many parents. Prodigal Son, I hope you're having a beautiful day. I'm doing wonderful. We are we're orphaning the children. That's right. All right, we are adding a spread shot to our game here. There we go. I want to be able to create a spread shot upgrade here so you can get the spread shot as you're playing through. I think the spread is too wide. I think I want to make the spread shot itself slightly less wide. Let's do -30, +30, like that. All right, so now we should be able to destroy the parent like this. My plan is to create if I need it, I'm going to create an object pool, Sigian. I haven't added one yet because I am just rushing for the game jam. So I don't want to go through the object pool process yet because then I have to write all the code for it. Thank you for the hat. Thank you so much for the hat. I appreciate it. So I'm trying to keep it simple. Cypher Enigma, I hope you're having a beautiful day. There we go. All right. So it should be fine here for our purposes in this small game. So there's a lot of room, but Unity has a built-in object point. I didn't know that. I did not know that. For what it's worth, every time I've done object pooling, I've implemented it myself. I don't have time to learn. I have like 20 hours to finish this game. So I don't know that I have time to learn it for this project. Every time I've done an object point, I've implemented it myself. All right, there we go. We can do it this way. I didn't know that there was built-in object point. Otherwise, I probably would have. I need to learn it. You still need to write a lot of code. See, yeah, I'm trying to keep it simple so I can just get this done quickly. But we have now. Let's make sure it should work fine. Let's start our enemy spawning. Boom. We can take these guys out so much easier now. Blammo. Blammo. There we go. But you did know you can use object point to stop garbage collection of variables. I didn't know that. So every time I've done it before, it's been specifically my own implementation to prevent garbage collection. All right, there we go. All right. But maybe I'll look into it if I have some time. For my purposes, I don't think it is an issue. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be an issue for this project. When I make this, my goal is to make this a little bit more. All right, I'm quite happy with our spread shot there. We want to add in a specific amount of ammo. But we're going to do a little bit of a thing here. Blast codes, you're almost there. I'm sorry, you're not quite to 500 points, but soon. Yeah, so adding the object point, I don't think it's in scope for what I want to do today. And I gotta finish this today. Feature, implement, spread, shot. I want to create a power up now. Who wrote that pooling? Oh, cool, cool, cool. Okay. Because for our enemies, it would be useful to have two. My trick for just dealing with it is setting a hard limit on the number of things that can be. I know that creating the objects, destroying the objects is kind of the expenditure. I woke up for the middle of this and I love problem solving. So we are doing Fox Hollow Game Jam 2. I'm doing the Gauntlet track. So I have just under, I have to finish this game by tomorrow. Our design principle is input randomness and our theme is primordial. So I'm making a game about a primordial soup. Scientists were trying to create a soup that could evolve things quicker. Unfortunately, it causes de-evolution to happen. So when the soup touches you, you de-evolve. And so your pet chicken got turned into a triceratops. And the scientists, prodigal son, glad to have you. Our scientists have de-evolved into cavemen. And so we are riding on the back of a triceratops, fighting off hordes of enemies as they come here. So that's sort of what it is. The idea, we've just added in this power up here. So we have a couple power. That interpretation of primordial soup is very penny recede. That's right, Zaft. Got to use those British words, the British words here. So, but yeah, we have these enemy waves continuous on. What I meant is the loop issue. What loop issue? I don't know if I'm having, So the loop issue here was related to deparenting. I understand now, killing the parents. Yeah, it wasn't killing the parents, it was deparenting here. What was happening is I was modifying this collection by removing a child from it, and that was causing the index to change, what it was referring to. So if I go from the back of this list to deparent, it actually does it correctly. So that's what was going on. So I just needed to go in the correct order. Yeah, no pulls, no sound settings, no optimization, no screen recording support. Jam players have to suffer. We got to get that gauntlet done. We got to get the gauntlet. You can't just modify collections. Yeah, correct. So I have a little bit of a thing here. Zero predicts a 78% chance killing his caveman will mutate your weapon. So the idea is after each area, there will be a reward, and the reward might be the spread shot power-up, a laser power-up, different types of power-ups. You can create a new list, theoretically, of the old list. That would be another option, right? Would go through, create it, mark all the children to be deparented, and then deparent. So I could do lists. Let's not spend too much time on it. That's what I've done in the past. This is, I have like a set. We're not allowed to use any code I've written before. Have a beautiful day, Nerd Waffle. Thank you for hanging out. Have a beautiful day. I appreciate you being here. Also, Blast Coats, I don't know if I said hello, but it's wonderful to have you with us on this beautiful Sunday. Okay, did I do a commit here? I think I did, and then I did some other stuff. What are the changes that I made here? Docs.zip. What is this? That's weird. That's really weird. Let me reload this window. Something weird's going on there. What am I doing? This is Gauntlet. You have to write the code without help. How can I judge otherwise? Yeah. It's true. You're not allowed to look. It's just streaming it and getting help from the stream. Does that count as writing all the code yourself? But I do love me some Unity problem solving. I'm glad to hear it. I love me some bugs squashing myself. Open repository, the Primordial. I want to see what I changed. Just did some debugging here. Okay. Git add, git commit, chore, remove unused lines. There's actually a lot of unused lines that I could remove more, but that's fine. Okay. What do I want to do next? We have about 10 minutes here. About 10 minutes. Can I actually solve something? Let's create a second enemy. here, I'm just gonna change the colors of our first enemy, and we're gonna make it faster. We're gonna take the enemy, make it faster here. So this is our basic caveman. Can we duplicate this? All right, so we're gonna make a second caveman here. We're gonna change the colors, and then we're gonna see if we can just have it work out for us. So we'll add in different hair color. Give it red hair. Oh, I hate it. I hate it. Dark red hair. There we go. We'll change these colors here. I'm so bad. All right, hang on. We'll just give it a different color like that. We are going to shift click, shift click, shift click, shift click, stop, shift click. There we go. And then we're going to set the color of these to that. The hand, let's, these are grouped together is what's going on. Give it a slightly different color. I don't know, maybe, there we go. That's fine. And then we're gonna adjust the color like that. It meant you didn't trust in an IDE auto-completing. Oh, I missed something. The good old days, printing out code on a dot matrix and hand running it. Oof. We're gonna give this guy a slightly bigger club. He's got a bigger club. There we go. All right, and then, so we got a bigger caveman, slightly bigger club. Let's readjust all of the outlines here. Object, path, where's the line? We need the fill. Oh, it should be down here. Fill and stroke. There it is. Stroke style in pixels. In pixels, set it to 1 there. Since I did a scale on it, it changed the size of those. So let's go ahead and do this. We are going to, we need to export each piece individually. So this is gonna be a big grunt. All right, let's go to our sprites real quick. Sprites, grunt, create another, call it big grunt. No, big grunt, fast grunt. Has a bigger club, faster grunt, fast grunt shoulders, like that. Oops, I need to check this box here. Export. This one should be fast grunt head. Fast grunt head. Let's do a fast grunt foot. Let's do a fast grunt hand. Come on. Fast grunt hand. Fast grunt hand. Then lastly, this is our fast grunt club. Fast grunt club. You know, I gotta say, when I do programming, it does not look half as decent as this. Thank you so much. When you do programmer or when you do art, I've had a lot of fun with it. It's a lot of work, but I want to make sure I have a second enemy here. Let's go to our enemies, grunt. Grunt data. We'll have to create this. There's gonna be a second thing we do. Hi Hazel, my dog knows it's time to go on a walk, so she's bothering me. Like, come on, man. Come on, we're gonna duplicate our grunt prefab. It's gonna be our fast grunt prefab. Programmer art is what I do too. All right, so we come into our fast grunt, and we're gonna swap out all of our objects here. I need to update that collider, that's funny. Fast grunt head. Shoulders, this will be our fast grunt. Shoulders, fast grunt. Shoulders, fast grunt. Arm, fast grunt. Hand, I should have called it arm, that's okay. Club is going to be our fast, nope. Fast grunt club. It's a bigger weapon. We'll have to adjust the animation, it looks like. We'll find out. I have a feeling this is going to cause a problem. That's annoying. I don't want to have to redo the animation. The animation's going to be broken. We're going to have to reparent this. Alternatively, hang on, let's go and let's create a child sprite. And then we shouldn't have to reparent it. All right, sprite here. Fast club. Copy component. Paste component as new. Take our club. It's gonna be, we're gonna have to, I'm frustrated. All right, we might just use a regular club on this guy for now. Let's turn that off. Let's see what happens. Grunt, fast grunt, club. This sprite can be repositioned like that. Because this is the piece that's animated. We'll have to figure this out. The animation should be fine. It's just, I don't want to have to make a new animation. I want to be able to reuse the same animation is the biggest thing. Fast grunt. And like that. Yeah, I want to be able to reuse the animation. So now, see, I want to be able to reuse the animation. I want to have to make new ones. I just had to reparent it here. The main one is that the death is going to look a little bit, because it's not going to fade out. It'll just disappear, which I think is fine for our purposes. Let's add in a fast grunt enemy to our waves here. Okay, so let's go to our waves. Spawn groups, 32 grunts. Let's duplicate you. It's gonna be 32 fast grunts. The other thing, let's go to our fast grunt prefab X fast grunt. Grunt prefab. I wanted to change our speed here is going to be 6 to 10. So they're going to be faster than the other grunts here. We probably want to make it so there's not 32, but that's fine. We'll do that for now. Let's duplicate these. This is going to be 8 fast grunts. 8 fast grunt. 8 fast grunt. 8 fast grunt. And then we want to swap these out here with a fast. Oh, I got to make a fast grunt data. Fast grunt data. And this will use the fast grunt prefab. Our spawn groups, fast grunts, 8 fast grunts. Like that. And then we just got to say, can I set, if I set this to 8, there we go. Easy. 1 fast grunt. 8. All right, so these are all fast grunts now. They're regular grunts. And our spawn groups, fast grunts. Change these to fast. East, north, south, west. And then our wave here. It does. I was thinking that exact same thing as it felt like, all right, let's try it. It feels that way for sure. I agree with that. Spawn wave. All right, so we have our guns here. I should have made it so that I have just a regular weapon again. All right, there, here they come. Oh yeah, those guys are. They look at them. They're mad. Oh yeah. So we can even mix them in a little bit. So every group of them will have a couple fast ones as well. All right, so we should get fast. All right, cool. So I have my wave spawning set up where it starts working. I need some Armor Games logo to come up. That'd be brilliant. That'd be brilliant. All right, folks, we managed to add in a fast grunt here. All right. Get status, get add, get commit dash m. Feature add fast grunt prefab enemy. There we go. New grounds. I should call it old grounds. That little logo says old grounds, and it's rather than the tank, it's the Triceratops with the turret on it. All right, we're gonna have to raid out of here. Let's see who we got, who we can raid into. Did we do it? That was fast. I managed to do that in 15 minutes. Incredible, incredible. Alex, welcome back to the stream. It's great to see you, my friend. I think we're gonna go raid JD Does Dev, working, who I believe is doing Fox Hollow Jam. Yeah, doing the Fox Hollow Jam. So let's give JD Does Dev a raid, folks. JD Does Dev is actually the inspiration for this project. JD was doing a Smash TV clone.
Like you're talking with Captain. Let me see if I could do my Captain impression. I am not the Captain, but my eyebrows also move in a way like the Captain.
So be sure to give him some love. Click that follow button when we get over there. Say hello. He's the inspiration for this project. But we're going to go ahead and raid out to JD. Folks, I will be back tomorrow morning, hopefully with a finished game. Tomorrow morning. Additionally, let's see, what else do we got going on? I need to have a finished game tomorrow. So hopefully I'll be mostly finished. We'll be showing it off, maybe adding in a menu, doing a little bit of polish on stream, maybe adjusting audio volume, that type of stuff. But hopefully we'll finish this up here. Be sure to click that join raid button if it's showing up. I don't know what's going on lately, it seems. Anyway, I am curious points. Oh, I'm not an affiliate, so I don't have channel points. You have to do ! Points at all. But for being here to witness this momentous occasion, 1,500 points to all you beautiful people out there. Have a beautiful day, everybody. I will be back tomorrow. Remember to keep coding, keep growing, keep being the best you can be. You're welcome back anytime. Oh, and I'll be on Discord later today if you want to check out what's going on. So for me, I don't know what's going on. Mine always has, I have to click join these days. I don't know what's going on with it. Anyway, so yeah, the viewer count, I don't quite understand what's going on with it. That's okay. Anyway, everyone, it always shows it like increasing for me. I don't know what the deal is with it. Have a beautiful day, everyone. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Yeah, see you there. Bye-bye.